Can we please be honest and recognize that there is a difference between grooming someone and you being a dumb 20-year-old sending inappropriate memes to try and be edgy and funny?
If you haven't yet seen my first video on denims, I recommend you check it out. It's not a necessity for this video, but it gives added context. All you need to know is that she's a leftist political streamer who latches herself onto the communities of bigger streamers like Hasan Piker. She has a history of saying some outlandish things, some of which I missed in my first video, and others were said afterwards. Knowing her, this will continue until she inevitably becomes irrelevant. This is the continued degeneracy of Denims TV. So for a bit of exposition, YouTuber Think Before You Sleep made a video criticizing animation storyteller Illymation over a video she made relating to body positivity. Basically, she equates that there shouldn't be any moral stigma around being unhealthy, despite how disastrous that could be for someone's health. Illy would hear of his video rather quickly, and went on Discord to tell her followers to mass report his channel to get him deplatformed. This wasn't known until much later though. What was known is that she made a Tumblr post basically saying the same thing. TBYS would then make 2 additional videos on the drama, as he wanted people to know what was going on. Before Noah Samson's video on the drama, Denims tried giving her opinion on stream. Knowing her, she has insane levels of bias here, as during the first minute of the segment, she says this.
Friend of the channel, Illymation. I didn't know she was a friend of the show. Yeah, I met her through Sabrina, actually. And she's such a sweetheart. She's just, I mean, anyone that's friends with Sabrina is an amazing person, except me, I'm cringe. But don't tell her that. Sabrina has no idea that I'm actually a really cringe nerd. So let's keep that on the DL, guys, okay? I have to maintain that friendship, okay? So that I can feel cool and not cringe.
Nope, you're still cringe, Denims. But as you heard, she has incredible bias towards her friends, and will attempt to stick up for them in the laziest way possible.
Isn't Think Before You Sleep one of the incel channels? Yes. Yes, that's the guy who got absolutely destroyed by Noah Samson, where he like just fucking ruined his life. Just making fun of him, making him look like a complete idiot. It's also the guy who sounds like Ben Shapiro, where he's like,
wow, the first thing I'd like to say is that I don't appreciate that this woman is a woman.
This is pretty much the whole stream. She just makes fun of TBYS's voice and says he's an incel, all because he politically differs from being a radical leftist like Denims. And if you don't believe me that she's radical, she's a Keffals defender, agreed that America deserved 9/11 unironically, tried downplaying the Balenciaga scandal, and more as shown in my first video. Now I won't bore you with the details of the stream, as the segment alone is 4 hours, but I do need to play this part.
in case anything happens, I thought I would let everyone know what's up. Thanks to a viewer, it has come to my attention that earlier today, Alyssa from the channel Illymation has started a flagging campaign against my channel because of a video I made reacting to her perks of being the fat kid video. The image here was posted to her Tumblr telling people to report the video I made. And then here it says, since this video went live, I've been getting hate comment bombed on my fat kid video, on other videos on my channel, as well as Twitter and Instagram. I submitted a report, but it takes a while for human review at YouTube. I chatted with a help desk person today in a live chat help section. She was very helpful. Unfortunately, I just have to sit tight. However, if you, Mayor Cat, the keyboard is mine, not yours. However, if you or anyone else reading this comes across this video, please report it for cyberbullying. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. You posting photos of the ways that someone looks and then insulting the way that they look over and over again and describing how best they can become your Aryan princess girlfriend wife. That sounds like pretty cyberbully to me.
Okay, I've watched his first video multiple times, and all he does is give her advice on how to style herself since she complained about her looks in her fat kid video. If you want to call that cringe, then okay, but that's in no way cyberbullying. And YouTube agrees, as even though the video was given a strike, it was eventually put back up since it wasn't cyberbullying. Who's a cyberbully here? Well, that would be Denims, someone who loves calling her opponents Nazis and transphobes to the hell of it. Someone who acts with clear malice and makes joke death threats while criticizing someone else for doing the same.
Earlier, I received an email from a follower giving a well-detailed description about how Alyssa is trying to get me a channel strike because she didn't like a video that she admits to not even watching. If you didn't watch it, how do you know what's in it? Well, a friend of hers told her it was bad. Wait, isn't this the exact kind of research that I criticized her for in the video? That's funny. Now, before we go any further, I will say that I began this journey with—
That is actually some of the best advice I would give to people. If you ever want to become a content creator, and I personally, I'm battle hardened from being bullied. And so there's very little, if anything, that people can say to me that would actually offend me.
Here's a tip for fellow Denims haters. Make a joke at the expense of sex workers, and she'll totally not get offended, guys.
What do you mean? It takes 2 seconds to take off my shirt. Literally any woman in the world can do this, but most don't because making on a website mostly populated by minors is gross and insane. Gonna be honest.
Just kill me now. Just kill me now.
Can you tell she has an OnlyFans? She only gets through the first quarter of his video before getting distracted, as she always does, and then reacts to a Noah Samson video. So basically, she downplays a serious deplatforming attempt, mainly just makes fun of TBYS's voice, and calls him a conservative incel. She adds nothing to the drama besides showing off her extreme bias and sloppy reactions. When she's not going off on a tangent, she makes terrible arguments and lazily reacts to videos, which brings us to... Those like Hasan Piker and XQC have long been criticized for the lazy form of content, which I've gone over in 2 different videos now. However, Denims is way worse than either of them, as not only are her reactions non-transformative, but she engages in flat-out content theft. This is something I definitely wish I covered more in part 1, as I mainly went over the hilariously awful tweet she made about how hard streaming is to defend her crush. She has long held some very questionable opinions on React content, which got her into drama back in 2022. It began when YouTuber Exci made a video titled Hasan Piker, Jinx, and the Issue of Reaction Content, which came out around the same time the discourse began sprouting up about React streamers. Denims, being the Hasan bumlicker she is, decided to respond to it on stream, with it partially being archived by the YouTuber Mauler. She pretty much rambles on as we expect from Denims, though here you'll occasionally hear her chewing on shit. She comes up with some crummy arguments for why lazy React content is okay, which is really just a way to excuse her type of content, and not engage with any type of criticism. For instance,
if a reactor hasn't added anything and watching their reaction is basically just the same experience as watching whatever they're reacting to, then essentially they're just reposting something someone else made to their audience, reaping the rewards of someone else's work under the guise of reacting to it.
Wrong. This is literally wrong. If anything, this video should have been edited, because I know videos that are this long tend to take like an hour, tend to take like months to make, or at least a month to make. From talking with more like video essayists and stuff. Sorry. Okay, there's like some chips in my teeth. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, this should have been very evident from like the amount of people that wanted to watch like Death Note on stream, or the amount of people that want to watch like MasterChef or Hell's Kitchen on stream. Like, it stops being one person making content, like a person making React content, and it starts being like a bunch of people watching something together as like friends almost, right? So like, even if like, there are times when I am streaming Hell's Kitchen and I don't even feel like I'm adding that much, but it's like about like the community watching, like in the same way that like watching a movie by yourself is almost always going to be less fun than watching it with other people. Do you know what I mean? And I think that this really was like amplified and like made obvious during like the peak of like the, you know, Pokemon getting banned and Disguised Toast and everything like that. Just a watch party. Yeah, exactly. The community. It's fun to watch something together as a community.
she's basically admitting to lazily watching TV shows on stream, but excuses it because others are watching it with her. It's okay that she's stealing content, she's doing it for you guys. She's generous. In reality, it's just lazy and scummy, especially since she gets donations from viewers doing it. Denims then tries to paint Jay as salty after they made a joke, which is something a lot of these Twitch streamers do to dismiss hate. She claims Jay only did this video because they're jealous of Hasan, not because it's good to call out someone's shitty behavior. I won't play too many clips on the stream because her arguments have all been said before, also because she's infuriating to listen to, though later on, she says this infamous quote.
And if all of these things and any other alternative all seem like they're too much effort, then sucks to be you. Take some pride in your work. Holy shit. You don't get to just take something someone else made.
What does take pride in your work mean? I don't know.
That really explains it all right there. Denims produces boring, nothing burger slop. Of course she doesn't know what taking pride in your work means. She doesn't put any substantial effort into what she does. It's all meaningless drivel meant for those who already believe what she believes. Now Mahler would end up talking about Denims on his podcast, Every Frame a Pause, with some pretty good points being brought up. The main one is in regards to her flat out reposting content.
Alright, I will be back. I should be done getting ready by the end of this video. Smile.
Is she just playing someone's video while she does her makeup or whatever?
Yes. And if you'll note, I
Jesus
decided to
Christ.
skip through everything that she used.
Wow, that's 13 minutes of a video. That's a
the whole
13-minute
video.
video. She didn't say a word.
Yeah,
The
like
whole
what was
video.
stealing
There's
shit.
not even a chair. There's not even a chair.
There's not
sitting there
even
to
a
record.
Yeah, there's not even a chair.
Why not just start your stream 15 minutes fucking later?
You know what,
Because some
Cos?
people
You
will
need
pay money
viewers,
to do
alright?
this.
You gotta make sure you get that content out the door.
So, what we have learned
Okay, so-
already is that she's the same as, if not worse, than Hasan.
Denims still does this, by the way, but instead of 13 minutes, she'll play other people's content for up to 100 minutes. While she takes time to get ready, she'll just autoplay random YouTube videos. Why can't she just start her stream later? Or maybe put a timer on stream instead with background music playing. All of her arguments about React content are pretty much invalid at this point, since she herself doesn't even react, she steals. Now, sometime after Denim's stream, she debate Jay on Chud Logic's stream. There are a few points where Denim seems to agree with Jay's points, but at the same time, she continues pushing a narrative that Jay is spiteful and angry at Hasan. Something that many took note of is how Denim's backpedals on many of her claims. She starts out each point disagreeing with what Jay said, and then agrees after Jay made their point. She pretends as if she agreed the whole time, instead of admitting that she's wrong.
Sorry, my opinion on your video was, I do want to apologize because I did go really hard again because the beginning felt.
I think I've just been watching your stream, and I think I've just got to the bit where you I think I just got to the bit you go hard, and I've not got past that yet. So
Yeah.
I'm coming in.
And
off of
eventually
that.
later, I'm like saying like, I'm really frustrated because I think you make such good points at the end, like really, really good ones, because it's true. Like, you're not saying, Hasan, stop watching my content. In fact, in your comment, you specifically say, I'm not saying you have to stop watching my content. I'm saying don't like walk away from my content. Do you know what I mean?
The drama could have ended here, but Denim just had to get her last word in. Instead of covering it in another stream, she decided to make a YouTube video titled Hasan Piker, Exci, and React Content, a case study in perspective. Now, Denims would end up privating this video, but we do have Chud Logic's coverage of it. She still goes with the narrative that Jay is spiteful and hates Hasan, which that clearly isn't true.
Up until the final section of the video, the majority of it is just Jay talking about how much he absolutely disliked Hasan using his content as filler content. Filler content in this context meaning content that's being used for when a streamer is eating or is going to be walking away from the stream and not going to be there. Jay talks about these frustrations in the most deranged manner, in my humble opinion.
Oh my god. Where was this energy in the fucking debate? Where was this energy in the debate? I missed out on some good content. Where was this energy? It was barely there.
Her other points don't have a lot of weight to them, especially since she couldn't actually back them up during the debate. It just seems like she is a spiteful one and wants to be seen as a victor in the drama. She got herself involved because she's incredibly insecure about the content she produces, specifically watching episodes of TV shows of her viewers. She has no hill to stand on. If there was a gun pointed at Hasan's head, she wouldn't be able to make a cohesive argument as to why he should be kept alive. Denims will get a lot of backlash, eventually making a TwitLonger, where she apologizes for how aggressive she came across, though she still tries to seem like a reasonable person. She claims that she's been getting harassed, even from Jay, though the tweets she referenced were Jay calling them out for mischaracterizing them. After the EFAP episode on her dropped, she tweeted, "Removing some 40 plus videos from my YouTube for a variety of reasons. Primarily dislike my old content, but also don't care for the unfettered harassment. I realize now I will never receive a response for this post, and I'm moving past this." Oh wow, nice cum joke. How quirky. All these Pogger community streamers do this. They're all crybullies, man. Jay was incredibly charitable to her. Way too charitable. Denims was not interested in having a conversation. She was trying to defend her lazy reaction content due to the guise of defending Hasan's. So Denims was a fan of Ethan up until a year ago, during the fallout of the Leftovers podcast. This is a podcast hosted by Ethan and Hasan, where they would discuss politics and internet culture from a leftist perspective. This podcast is never going to last, as Hasan is way more radical than Ethan. People like Hasan have a hard time getting along with those who have different perspectives from them, which is why he only surrounds himself with like-minded people. Fans of the two would criticize Ethan for not being enough of a socialist. The podcast would end during episode 61, due to an argument the two had, relating to the Israel-Palestine conflict. They both are for pro-Palestine, but Ethan also feels bad for innocent Israelis in the conflict. Many began attacking him over this position, labeling him a Zionist. This is despite the fact he's been critical of the IDF. Hasan would encourage his fans to attack Ethan, but he played dumb.
And I'm fucking shocked that you don't care that people in your chat are saying, who the fuck is this child, cold, arrogant,
Ethan,
as fuck.
I love you, but there's only so
moderate?
much I
And
can do.
How can you be
Oh,
surprised
no.
when your Discord is literally full of fucking
Ethan, I love you, but there's only so much I can do if you're making that argument. You know that, right? Like, at a certain point, you're an adult, and the words that you're saying are going to be perceived by people in a certain way. I can't constantly tell my community to shut the fuck up, like,
well,
which I have,
listen,
and I think they should. But at the end of the day, it's because I know you personally, and I think your heart is in the right place.
The reason why I played that clip from Destiny's stream is because Hasan would edit that part out because it made him look bad. The problem isn't that Hasan can't moderate his chat, it's that he doesn't want to. He'll make sure nobody in his chat mentions Sam Hyde or Willie Mack show, and he'll bully Ludwig into taking a video down over a tame joke, but calling Ethan a racist piece of shit is okay to him. Now, I'm not sure if Denims actually mods for Hasan or not, but Ethan claims to think she does. He shows a clip where she claims that Israelis who are legally forced to serve in the IDF are the same as Nazis.
The conscription is mandatory, but you can go to jail for like a couple months if you refuse to join. There have been lots of people who have protested their government by doing so. And I get that that's a big sacrifice to ask of the Israeli people that live there, but I'm just personally not a fan of, you know, I had to do it, I was forced to do it. I feel like you start getting really close to like Nuremberg trial type shit there.
So she's trying to compare anyone drafted into the IDF mandatory conscription to being a fucking Nazi.
Denims calling someone a Nazi literally means nothing at this point. Now, I'm not here to argue the validity of that statement. This isn't a political video. I mention all this context because of Denims' response. Now, I can't seem to find the original, but she did upload various shorts. One can be found on TikTok, which is what we'll be looking at.
This clip is, I think she is a Hasan mod. I think, just like Frogan.
Me when I call every Arab woman I see a Hasan mod.
He thinks you're a Hasan mod because you constantly ride his Turkish cock, not because you're Arab or whatever. She also claims that she was defending Ethan in the original stream, though I doubt that. She has a habit of deleting content that makes her look bad, as seen earlier. Now since then, she's become a hater of Ethan. Coincidentally, Ethan has been on a redemption arc, shitting on his more extreme fans and handling drama very well. In late August, less than a month ago, she'd react to the recent drama Ethan got himself in. During an episode of the H3 podcast revolving around Jack Doherty, a stream malfunction occurred. Ethan pressed his button, which allows him to cut out 30 seconds of his delayed broadcast. This time though, you can hear Ethan scolding AB.
They get access to
I
think we covered most of it.
We're doing it.
What are you
It's
doing?
so awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
Just like, this is what I'm talking about when it's always like.
We need to get home for our kids.
It's like, bro.
Oh no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I was just talking about finishing
On
Wednesday.
Friday, maybe. Is it? You guys, like...
Alright, I'm taking my hand off.
Now Ethan did apologize to AB, but really this was just a massive nothing burger. This didn't stop the two greatest subreddits in existence, r/YouTube drama and r/H3 snark, from criticizing Ethan. Some outright claim that this is an example of workplace abuse, despite Ethan not even being that aggressive. Many online were on Ethan's side though, including the commentary channels that criticized him in the past. Denims would side with the Redditors, making this tweet in an attempt to seem nuanced. In the actual stream, she goes kinda hard on Ethan. She disguises this as pretty reasonable criticism, not realizing that some of that criticism applies to her more.
And like, realistically speaking, if anything, I think Ethan Klein needs to see more opinions from people that don't share his fucking opinions.
This is her projecting. Anyway, she brings up other examples of Ethan supposedly mistreating his employees, despite them clearly just being humorous or awkward moments. She's trying to make a mountain out of a molehill.
You're missing very important context because you haven't had this experience. This isn't bullying. Me and my friends have banter and poke at each other. Some coworkers too. You don't have thousands of people that side with your friends no matter what, that come into your mentions and harass you. When you and your buddies are making fun of each other, it isn't live in front of a camera being shown to 30,000 fucking people, and your friend isn't your boss. You're never worried, oh, if I say the wrong thing, this guy's gonna fire me. These are not even remotely serious or similar. They're not even remotely similar.
Okay, but Ethan wasn't trying to make that conversation public. It was only public by accident. Second, I don't think this chick and the others criticizing Ethan have actually worked a normal job before. If you can't handle a slightly hostile environment, you won't be able to realize how dumb this all is. Remember when Denims tweeted, "As someone who has worked 12-hour shifts with a 4-hour commute while going to university full-time, streaming is easily the hardest job I've had. The post-stream, social exhaustion is so real I don't know how anyone can do it every day. I'm sorry, that just sounds fake. She's saying that streaming for 12 hours a week is harder than working around 60 hours a week, with an additional 20 hours to drive there and back, along with taking at least 4 classes in college, assuming she worked 5 days a week. Denims then tries to criticize her chat for overgeneralizing.
The chat is saying it. This is also my favorite one. The left is so crazy, they love to break shit. The right is so wild, they love to suck dick. That one's just true. If you ever bring up chat as like a whole, okay, just show me one chat message of someone who said he's literally the worst boss ever. There's no one that said it. I read every chat message I'm watching. No one said that. Literally, no one said that. I saw people call him a Zionist piece of shit. That's true. But that has nothing to do with whether or not you're a boss, right?
Bruh. Now, Ethan wasn't perfect during this controversy, but Denims is coming at him from the perspective of a crazed Hasan fan who wants his career to end. She's looking for any good opportunity to shit on him, though it results in boring streams like this. She will literally do anything to defend Hasan's honor, while pretending to be a level-headed individual. In July, the many allegations against Eva Tyson became mainstream, and many creators became rightfully critical of her. Others were called out for not joining in on the discourse fast enough, mainly those in the poggers community like Ludwig, Valkyrie, and Pokimane. And while I don't like these 3, most of the hate they got here wasn't deserved. The latter 2 were pretty performative with their responses, but they shouldn't have been called out over this until after Eva and or MrBeast issued a response. However, there are some creators who definitely did ignore the situation or try to downplay it, like Hasan, Ethan is Online, Caseytron, and Denims. Denims immediately questioned the validity of the allegations due to them being posted by Keemstar, though she finally talked about it on stream on July 24th. As usual, she goes on multiple tangents throughout, like when she spends 5 minutes discussing the one slur from the Lorax. She then watches Moist Critical's video on the situation, where she only reacts on questioning the validity of a claim made against Eva. First is when she questions the story of Shadman drawing Keemstar's daughter.
That actual fucking lunatic drew porn of an 8-year-old girl. That's not hearsay or anything, that is something that actually happened. And you know what's even crazier? I talked about this on stream. A lot of...
To be clear, the only source we have on this, and I'm not saying it's true or it's fake, the only source we have on this is Keemstar saying it happened.
I have an issue with this, and she claims she did research.
No, but seriously, I didn't know any of this shit about any of these people. I had to do so much searching for so much of this fucking garbage on the internet regarding the situation with Eva, and I'm losing my mind about it. So let's go, shall we?
We know Shadman drew Keemstar's daughter because he outright admitted it years ago.
Totally understand. Do you understand that it was obviously part of like the controversial nature of the picture to post it under such context?
It started off as a controversial joke.
Yes.
You didn't go through with it.
I would have never.
You did draw a picture of Keemstar's daughter in kind of like, obviously she's not naked, but I do feel like there are sexual connotations regarding that picture. Would you agree?
Totally agree. Yes, totally agree.
Now, to be fair, she does say she'll take Keem's word for it, but the claim that there's no evidence is a lie. Denims then accuses Charlie of engagement baiting, saying he's over-exaggerating the claims against Ava, one of these claims being that Ava had Lolly hanging on her wall.
The art that Ava had, the poster, as far as I see, doesn't look like it is or is not a fucking child. It's like edgy art, and that's it. The person who made it apparently went on to make child porn art, which is insane, by the way. But why are you saying Ava bought a child porn poster when the poster she bought wasn't? Why did you say that?
Because the girl in question has braces on, and very clearly looks like a young teenager. It's a very gross image that I don't even want to show uncensored, yet Denims doesn't seem to think it's a big deal. She thinks the issue is that Ava bought this from a Nazi pedophile, not the fact that she has a sexual image of a teenager in her goon cave. Denims then reads out a chat message from someone calling out her hypocrisy.
One day after the former Twitch staff tweet about Doc, but now your narrative... Why did we ban him? I was responding. But now your narrative changes when the pedo is trans. Did you... I think it's cute that you want to believe that we're not consistent, but we are. It's you guys that aren't consistent. I think buying a poster from this weird pedo-Nazi artist is fucking creepy and strange. I also think
a 33-year-old man trying to meet up with a minor is creepy and insane. But it's cute that you want to believe that we're not consistent on our positions.
So first of all, this is not the only thing Ava was accused of. I'll talk more about it later, but she groomed multiple different minors in her Discord server and even met up with one of these kids. Though to be fair, she never did anything gross with them in real life. It's pretty fair to compare this to the Dr. Disrespect situation, but she thinks the Ava stuff isn't as bad, and the main reason she's saying this is because she wants to downplay it.
This is another instance where I feel like it's very bizarre that people are comparing the Dr. Disrespect situation to Ava's situation, because Dr. Disrespect was a 33-year-old man flirting with minors. Ava was a 20-year-old trying to make stupid jokes with minors. One of them is like, dude, what the fuck are you thinking? You're crazy. You're trying to commit a felony. And the other one is like, oh my God, you are cringe. You are beyond cringe. Don't do this. Stop. What are you doing? Stop trying to talk. Don't talk to teenagers. Don't talk to them. Don't. What the fuck are you talking about? There's fucking transphobes in the chat.
She outright admitted during her defense of Keffals that she doesn't want to spend her time dunking on left-wing personalities.
My perspective is, I don't like to spend my time going after other people that are on the left, right? And that's just because I think my time is better spent making fun of people on the right. You guys can disagree, and I'm not saying that no one should ever do this, and I'm not saying that I think it's bad to do this. I'm saying I don't like to spend my time fighting with people who are saying that they're on the left.
She's willing to downplay some very serious shit to prove that those who express the same political opinions as her are not bad. But she'll make like 50 tweets rightfully shitting on Dr. Disrespect, but not Keffals or Ava who have done things just as bad, or arguably worse. Now an hour into the stream, Denims actually starts delving into the accusations, first going over all the different tweets from Ava where she mentions Shadman, though she only shows the weakest one, and doesn't even show the more damning tweets from her. She then reads Ava's apology, and thinks her tweets fawning over Lolly were simply edgy nonsense.
What else really can you say? Sorry to the people who were offended by the shit that I wrote when I was 20, which is this shit, and I don't want to impact the Mr. Beast team, which is hundreds of people's jobs. So yeah, I'm gonna step away. I'm not that person. You don't have to take my word for it, but I'm always trying to become a better person. Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm sure lots of people have said stupid shit when they were 20. I personally did not type this shit when I was 20, but like, okay, sure. In reference to claim number 1, which is edgy stuff that she did when she was younger, great. I think it mostly covers it. I don't think there's anything else to really say on this, right?
How about the other tweets? Tweets that were proven to be real. But no, just show the one, and then show some unrelated Reddit posts from Ava. Good journalism, Denims. She then moves on to talking about the disturbing Discord messages and tweets involving LavaGS, where she rightfully asserts that Ava shouldn't have been talking to minors in the first place. It's a surprisingly good take from her, though she ruins this by asserting that Ava's messages were just weird and not at all grooming.
I think the fact that she was talking to teenagers is bad enough. I think it's bad enough. I think it's already really weird, that on its own. Why do you have to add this grooming claim that is not true? Why? Why are we adding and tacking on these other claims that are not real, that are not true? It's talking to teenagers as an adult online, privately, is already weird. No one is going to defend that. I won't defend that. Fuck no. So that I think is important to talk about, okay?
This is what we call artificial nuance. She's pretending as if she's being fair, when in reality she's ill-informed, and ignoring the really bad stuff once again to downplay things. Now at the time, the only proof of this was Prism42's video, and what Nathan W said, though even then, the evidence they showed was pretty damning. I mean here, she was asking a 14-year-old boy to buy nudes on her Patreon. Even as a joke, it's disturbing. What would be even more incriminating would be the evidence shown by another person in Ava's server, Nathan W, whose Twitter video Denims also took a look at.
This server later went public and became his official Discord server, but before it did, he had me and Lava spend multiple days scrubbing this Discord server clean of all of the N-words he had sent in it, as well as his friends, as well as deleting the NSFW channels and making sure no one could see that he was spamming corn to minors. This story is so much bigger and runs so much deeper than any of you really realize, so if you want to hear more and you want a part 2, let me know.
The guy saying, yeah, if you want a part 2, just like this video, subscribe, and if it gets enough traction, I'll definitely post an update.
that really comes off as like a genuine victim trying to speak on real issues, right? I'm definitely going to believe the person who has actively spent the past 3 minutes misgendering Ava and is saying, yeah, I mean, if you guys really want to hear more, I'll definitely post a part 2.
You could disagree with me on this, but he obviously wants to put his voice out there before posting the evidence. But Denims was pissed because people believed him beforehand. I think it's fine for Denims to be skeptical, however, she would never update the story once more proof emerged. She just ignored it, and would move on to covering more stories like the Mr. Beast allegations. She'd talk about the Delaware situation, rightfully going after chatters for trying to downplay it. Delaware was a registered sex offender who worked with Mr. Beast years ago. He would be outed in Dogpack 404's second video.
Gonna be honest though, dude, weird hill to die on. Weird hill to die on. But hey, if you want to defend the pedophile, please. I know a streamer that you might really like. Goes by the name Sneeko. Might have heard of him.
Here's some
Now obviously this Delaware guy is way worse, but I feel like she doesn't put as much effort into criticizing Ava. She spends way more time downplaying what she did instead of giving her valid criticism.
The worst thing that Ava did was buy this weird art from this pedophile and like be friendly with him and make like weird pedo jokes online. That's weird. As far as actions, as far as actually doing grooming, I haven't seen. How come she's stepping away? Oh, because it's a PR nightmare for Mr. Beast. And if she doesn't step away, hundreds of people will lose their job.
She's just not consistent, and seems to only put in effort to report negatively about those her community or political enemies with. Again, this chick has also defended Keffals, Balenciaga, and e-girls who shake their tits in front of minors on Twitch. Now, while I was editing this, Denims has yet again gotten into controversy. As expected, it's against Ethan Klein, who rightfully shit on Frogan for a dumb take she had. Since the two are buddies, she decided to talk about this on stream, and says this regarding Osama bin Laden.
He specifically states in his writings the reasons: homosexuality, lack of Sharia law, drug use, lending of money, letting Jews run the country. Please read his writings before regurgitating tanky talking points and running defense for a mass-murdering, homophobic, anti-Semitic piece of shit. Fuck bin Laden. Wow, so progressive. You're so brave, Ethan. You're so brave.
You know she's gotta be careful, because the last time she talked about Osama, she got banned. It's pretty obvious she's doing this just to shit on Ethan and defend the honor of Frogan, who once again got herself into drama and is now playing victim.
When you do this shit, every reply in her fucking Twitter DMs is probably Islamophobic hate coming from your fan base. So when she makes fun of you, you are not receiving nearly the same level of harassment that she is receiving the other way around, because you have a significantly larger audience, which means you should be more responsible with your audience. But this guy, the money is not enough. Like, he has to win on every front because his ego is just so fragile. The idea that other people disagree with him and they make fun of him and those tweets get likes, it hurts him at like a core level, because he has like this like need for validation on the internet. Which is like, I can't believe that anyone could be like that after being on the internet for a decade.
Bro, you guys aren't innocent. This is flat out just projecting, since their community was being racist towards Ethan a year ago. From what I can see, there's no evidence of people being Islamophobic to Frogan. People are just calling her out for what she said. On Friday, Twitch announced that they'd be banning so-called waiting room streamers, aka those who feature another channel's content with no reaction or other original content. And seeing that she's a Hasan waiting room streamer who replays his clips, this applies to Denims. Many are already calling on her to get banned. This is what 4 years of cock munching gets you, queen. Nothing about Denims' content is good to me. She makes lazy slop where she puts no effort into reacting to things, and then adds on a bunch of nonsense to make herself seem smart. She's not here to educate people, she's here to defend her friends and those with similar opinions to her. The massive bias she exhibits has only grown, using it as justification to defend some very flawed and downright horrible people. Yet she'll criticize those who have done way less, trying to demonize them to her followers. She has no standards, yet tries pretending to be nuanced. This is all for show, in an attempt to seem trustworthy to outsiders. But in reality, the only new viewers come from the other streamers with viewpoints similar to her. She's too politically radical to appeal to the average viewer, which will be a bad thing for her in the long run. Knowing her, she'll continue to have the worst takes known to mankind. If she gets a really bad one, expect me to cover it in some way. Thanks for watching, and leave suggestions for who I should cover next.
Everyone I hate is a literal Nazi. Everyone except for me.
Everything I don't like is literally Hitler, literally Hitler, literally Hitler. Everything I don't like is literally Hitler. Let's have a look and see. Comic books, Hitler. Comedians, Hitler. Capitalism, Hitler. Socialism, Hitler. Criticism, Hitler. Men's rights activism, Hitler. Sexual dimorphism, Hitler. Facts, Hitler.
I really got to make sure I'm giving a lot of commentary because Jay could be watching right now.